we are at step 3. So step 3, okay, is going to be transferring our income. And where are we going to transfer our income? We're going to be transferring our income inside of our line of credit or our credit card. All right? Now listen, when you do this, you have to make sure that you have a significant balance on your line of credit or your credit card. And why is that? So that you can watch the magic, right? So that you can watch that balance disappear. So that you can watch that balance decrease rapidly as you're putting your income inside of your lines of credit. Now, this is where I was going to explain cash flow. Remember, income minus expenses equals your cash flow. The reason why we wanted you at step 1 to calculate is because of this reason. When you are spending from your line of credit, spending or investing, that line of credit still has to get paid back, right? Well, what's going to pay the line of credit back? I mean, you have minimum monthly payments, right? But when you place your income inside of your lines of credit, what happens to your minimum monthly payment? It disappears. It disappears. So you no longer have to worry about a minimum monthly payment. You no longer have to worry about the due date, because every time you get paid, the credit line gets paid. That's how they get paid. All right? So you, Velocity Banker, no longer have to worry about minimum payments due, because you're paying your lines of credit with your income. And the cash flow, watch this, it's the cash flow that is paying down your line of credit. And that's why you don't have to worry about the minimums. You're using your line of credit as your new and improved and better and more effective and more efficient checking account. Okay? So, let's go over it again. We're transferring our income inside of our lines of credit. Now, when I say lines of credit, I mean credit cards, okay, any revolving line of credit. And then you're going to have to make sure, okay, don't let the balance be $300. If the balance is only $300, right, and you get paid $6,000, how are you supposed to use your line of credit? So make sure that balance is at least $6,000, $7,000 so that you can place that income inside of there and then spend, right? And then make sure that cash flow stays within that line of credit. That's what's paying it down, okay? The cash flow. Folks, we have a couple more steps here for you. And on step 4, you're going to learn even more. And you're going to add to what you've already known. See, you're doing better already. Hello, everyone. Are you ready for the 4th and final step? Absolutely. It's just 4 easy steps, folks. The Velocity Banking Plan for you, laid out in 4 easy steps. Our 4th and final step is we got to determine the loan priority. What does that mean? That means that you will determine which loan will get hit and paid off and eliminated the fastest. How do we do that? Boy, I'm glad that you asked that question. We're going to do that by the cash flow index. Now, a lot of you may already know what the cash flow index is, but for those that don't, what you'll do to determine the cash flow index, and of course we go over this in our class in more detail, and we also have examples of this. Listen, this is what you do to calculate the cash flow index. You take the loan balance, you divide it by the minimum payment, and do this on all of your loans. The loan that is closest to 0 the cash flow index number that you've calculated, if you see that that number is the closest to zero, that is the one that you hit first. And you're going to hit it with the chunking principle. A lot of you may know what the chunking principle is. Many that don't, I go over it in my class. The chunking principle, you're going to take a chunk from your line of credit and you're going to chunk it towards that loan principal. Not just towards the loan, okay, because the bank will split it up. The loan principal is what you will chunk because the interest feeds off of that principal, okay? We want to take down that principal, okay, so that the interest is less and less and less, and we are saving more and more and more, okay? So after you have calculated what the lowest CFI is, you attack it with the chunking principle. But what are you going to do with the other loans? What are you going to do with your other obligations? Well, you're just going to continue to send those monthly payments, those minimum monthly payments. Don't worry, they're not going to hurt your credit score as long as you're under the credit utilization threshold of 30%, okay? Under the credit utilization threshold of 28%, you'll be okay, all right? And making those payments early. Okay. The latest you should be is 3 days early. So, after that, after you've paid that loan off, well, what will that do? That will give you more cash flow to place into other loans, or if you like, maybe another investment or a vacation. Okay. Now, what we want to do here is let you know that after you've paid off all of your loans, through this wonderful method, you're still going to be at zero. Is that right? Think about it. So after you've paid off your car, after you've paid off your mortgage, after you paid this off, after you paid that off, after you paid this off and that off, how much are you worth? You're still at ground level. Now it's time to go up. Right? It's time to build up. That's where we get into legacy wealth. That way we're getting into real estate investing. Okay? That way we're getting into things that will help us, like building a business. As a matter of fact, building a business is the #1 tax strategy in all of America. Okay? So you may want to think about that. If you need help or assistance in that area, VelocityC.com, CreditWiz at InvestorPro.org. We're here for you, all right? And we also have classes that get way into this. But I wanted to give you information that you can have so that when you are having trouble implementing the Velocity Banking Method, you can reference this video and go back to what works, all right? Folks, it's been a pleasure. Like, share, subscribe this. And you have a great day. God bless you.